So how we can improve? Here's the solutions. You must want to be a better listener, and that could happen when you admit that you're not a better listener. You must avoid yielding distraction. It's a very hard job, but what you can do is when you're listening to someone else, try to catch the words, catch the idea, so it will try to reconnect your mind and focus with the speaker. You must take notes whenever possible. Very physical task in listening, I must say, because if you don't understand what speaker is probably speaking, or you don't get the real idea, just note it down so you can recall the information. Stop what you're doing and listen. You can't do two things at a time. Like we just had an example in the morning that when Aaron was addressing our timekeeper, he started talking with his friend. So you can't paint your nails while watching a boxing match. Compensate for the speaker flow delivery. In this case, what happens that listeners want speaker to get more engaged, more entertained, so they can, focus. They can get their attention to speaker, but it doesn't happen every time. So what the listener can do is don't focus on the word, get the ideas. Don't see the content, see the intention, see the intent, what is in there. Because on purpose, nobody is a bad speaker. Keep an open mind, be broad-minded, because if you don't agree with his perception, her perception, don't get mad. Just try to evaluate, because this thing had happened on the second week when Aaron tried to say that the essence just mattered, but we had a different view of ours. Just we can do is try to evaluate, more elaborate, and alter our perception. That will help to feel better. Provide feedback. A very fantastic job for the listeners. In here they make feel speaker that they are important. They can do by giving positive postures of listening, like they are nodding, by giving positive vocal like references. So, what we have learned today? Hearing and listening are totally different things. Assumptions about hearing, that we listen well, that we don't. And different types of listening, barriers to the listening, and more importantly, how you can improve it. And I bet you might have got my point and my idea clearly that how we can improve it. So, I like to listen. I have learned a great deal from listening carefully, but most people never listen. There's a great saying from Ernest Hemingway. That's my reference. Any questions?
Thank you for this. It's been a very animated, lively, and interesting session there. Does anyone have questions for this?
Yep.
I just want to ask you about a tip, because sometimes people have very limited attention when you're listening to something that goes too long.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, you probably listen, but around the end, like when you just stop paying attention. What you're gonna do with it?
Yeah, that's what you call the distraction. Because as I mentioned, that internal distraction. That if you're listening well to the speaker, but sometimes it happens that you get lost with the things like that what happened. But what you can do, the best thing you can do is just try to focus on speaker, because paying attention is a very important thing for the listening part. So if you, in that case, no one can change you. You have to be yourself. You have to be true by yourself, and you have to pay attention. That's the best you can do. Any questions?
No? Thank you, Modesta.
Next person is set up. Okay. What did Modesta do well? Modesta.
Good examples.
Good examples.
Yeah.
I agree. Any particular examples stand out in your mind?
Especially your examples. link the concern?
Yep, there's no better shared experience to reflect upon than shared experiences that you know they've had because they've been in the same room as you. I'd agree with that. Yep, absolutely. What else did Madassa do well?
Body language, gestures.
I thought so. I thought that was an absolute highlight. I thought his physical presence, you know, on stage, his actual attire, his you know, tie and what he was wearing, and he was well groomed and strong body language, and he was talking to the audience, facial expressions, hand gestures. He was going back to forth to the actual people, you know, and when he made a point, he emphasised it with his body, you know. Some people try to use body language, but they don't necessarily use it to emphasise their points and to really connect with the audience, you know what I mean? Bit of an exaggeration, but I thought it was really good. 2 improvements.
Same thing, like he moved front and back, he didn't come to the other side. I don't know whether we can include this point. It should, you know, from that side, the audience near, it could have come this side also too.
Yep. Yeah. Yes. I would agree with that. I wouldn't particularly overemphasise it. I'll take an audience survey.
No, I think he spoke even from there. I thought he was talking to us. So he moved his eyes and he was still kind of acknowledging the entire audience. So I don't know. That's what
Yeah. No, that's good. I want a different perspective from a number of different people, you know, and I do myself like moving around a lot. It gives me time to think, and it also shows that I'm thinking. I like that. So people go, oh, he's thinking, you know, oh, he's coming over here. Hi, how you going, you know? But perhaps, you know, you don't have to do it all the time. I think that needs to be said as well. You don't have to do it all the time. I thought it was quite animated, so, you know, could have perhaps moved up and down once or twice. Maybe one more improvement. Friends of Madassa? Alright, well, if no one else will give one. I thought maybe it was just a touch too fast. I just thought it was a touch too fast. I think if you'd slowed down just a little bit more pausing, it actually would have made the